Andre, are there any specific habits or routines you credit for keeping you grounded during rapid growth or crisis moments?
Yes, there are specific habits I use for keeping me grounded. Some of the habits is time for reflection. In crisis mode, it's very important to stay grounded because you can easily get carried away with lots of negative emotions. So being grounded is one of the things. Another thing is particular attention to time management. Know every hour of the day what you're going to do and don't start the day unless it's finished.
I think mine aligns well with what Andre says in blocking out your time and hours. So for me, I'm a morning person, so 4:30 I'm up. I have specific things that I do. I thrive on the testosterone and endomorphins that come after that. So gym first, get a strong physical activity, and followed by that, then you are able to think well and then be able to do all the other things, yeah?
Very good. Sachin?
I embrace the same thing plus 4 cups of coffee.
Plus 4 cups of coffee. Very good. So coffee is the secret? No? Please get yourself tested to make sure that you can take in so much coffee. What's been your approach to attracting and retaining the right team members, especially during critical growth phases?
I think what attracts persons and retaining them with us is ownership and alignment. So with us, we have clear goals and visions that we would have set up, and then having the team members understand their role. So quickly, once you come into our organizations, with whichever one of them, we have clear goals for you set up. We're very fast-paced. We move at really rapid rates. So we know if you're going to be staying or not. I think within a week, 2 weeks, that is set up really well. And then once you're there, then you have clear goals and clarity. I think what works well is progress equal happiness has been something that works well with us. So once you set clear goals for your team and they see that they're making progress, they themselves become happy. They fall into this company culture of optimism, happiness, and I think that's what allows us to continue to have that long-term staff being with us and aligning with our visions.
I think for us, it's more so being able to identify the individual, especially for a specific role. If you're employing someone, you want to be able to understand the emotional intelligence of the person, understand if they fit well for the specific role, and then as a leader, you must be able to build that person. So along with what my friend over here has just said, is how do you grow that person? How do you explain to them their path, understand where they want to go first, so that once they're aligned to their goals, you then get that person to align to the company's goals. So not the other way around, not the company first and then the person. It has to be the person first, then the company.
Good, very good. Alignment is key. Andre, anything to add?
Yes, in addition to my two colleagues, the question is how do you attract top talent? First, you need to be attractive, and people will look on and see what your organization is doing. And the best person to talk about your organization is the employees themselves. I'm proud to say that our engagement rate is in the 90s for employee engagement, and this is anonymous surveys we did. So as my colleague mentioned, to put in the right person in the bus first and put them in the right seat in the bus, aligning their strengths with duties.
Very good. If I had to add, I would say make sure that you use all the different assessments that are available, DISC assessments, AccuMatch assessments, so that you can really identify if the person is a good fit for the job description. We like to actually look at the job description and say, hey, what's the style of person that will really do well in this case, so that it's actually a match? Because for the 48 hours before the person shows up to your interview, they are YouTubing the YouTube out of YouTube to figure out all the right answers to give you. So that sometimes when you ask them, and what would make you choose to be with Farfan and Mendes? I want to give my liver and soul to Farfan and Mendes forever and ever and ever. And like they tell you all the right things, you feel so good, you hire, and then it's not a good fit. So what the team also mentioned is trade testing. So as much as possible, bring the person in for a couple of hours, a couple of days, if needed, a week or so you can actually see if the person has the ability. Because you really don't want to have to pay a lot of money for people who don't have the ability. You don't mind paying for someone who wants to develop the ability and then put them through the process. But if someone, a professional has abilities, when you hire someone who's a professional, You don't need to run behind them, micromanage them, check in every 5 minutes because they come with the ability to deliver. So be clear on what you're hiring. And in Guyana, we have a very, very short supply of professionals. Right? Based on my statistics, all the work that we do is less than 5% of our population is actually professional. Like they will be on time, show up on time, do the work, do it up to standard, check for what's next, have it mapped out. It's not common. Right? In this room here, the percentage is probably very, very high, but out there, it's not like that. So also be willing and ready to have a proper training program to develop professionals. In that way, we are actually all education institutions. Welcome to the education institution world. Sachin, if you had to build your company again from the ground up, using only what you know now, what would you do first?
Hire the right people, I think, and understand. I guess one of the most important things too is understand where you're going to get the capital from and how do you leverage it into more and more business. That's actually how I started my business as well. Not having the capital up front and figuring out, okay, where is the supply, where is the demand, and linking the two. So yeah, I think that would be ideally.
Hire the right people and figuring out the match between demand and supply. Andre,
Correct.
anything to add? If you were to restart?
Yes, if I was to restart my business, first thing I would do is get a business coach.
Thank you, very good. Sachin forgot that one. Okay. Second thing.
Yes, the second thing is have a more long-term plan, because sometimes when you start with a small area, but then you don't see the bigger picture and you realize in 6 months, 2 years down the road, you made the wrong move. So it's more like a more long-term plan up front.
Very good. Devendra, anything to add? If you were to restart?
I'd say similar to what Sachin said, as well as Andre, of course, having a business coach there. However, the aspects that would be really good and cool is working on the business is one of the things that you would have taught us really well. So like I'm an excellent salesman. My team would say I would sell ice to a guy living in an igloo. However, if I keep doing that, then I'm not working on the business. So creating the time to work on the business rather than working in the business.